Hey guys, back out from my pad here. I'm over here doing some cleanup in the garden. I've been literally cleaning up for the past couple months, especially in the past couple weeks. I've been really trying to get the garden to where I need it to be. This is a Everglades tomato vine. As you can see, still green, still healthy. Literally have gotten hundreds of tomatoes off this. But the problem we're having is that every night rats or some animal comes and they eat tomatoes. Like I literally washed this off 2 days ago, and you can see that's all fresh pulp, fresh tomatoes that they were eating. So literally the animals are getting way more tomatoes than I'm getting. So it doesn't make sense to keep this tomato vine. This is just encouraging rats or encouraging whatever it is at night. I've never seen them. I'm just assuming it's rats because they come out at night. So in today's video, I'm just going to go ahead and do some cleanup here. This tomato, as well as majority of the tomatoes we have throughout the garden, were all volunteers. Um, this one is probably the biggest, the healthiest one, but there are times when we just have to do it, make that sacrifice. Um, as you can see, the tomato, I just pulled it off of my Coolie plum tree or my Indian jujube tree. This actually had blossoms on it earlier, but I think the tomato was kind of strangling it. So I'm gonna remove that. You can see here we also have a watermelon growing across the jujube tree. And look guys, the watermelon actually caught on to the wires, and you see a huge watermelon there. Not sure how many more we have because it's just kind of like a chaotic mess. I have some calalloo in here also that we had harvested a couple times, but now you can see that bugs have gotten to them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this area up. So guys, before I start harvesting, can you guys imagine how many tomatoes I'm gonna have growing up from this area now? This is my compost bin. Luckily it's sealed, so I don't think any other tomato seeds got in here. But this is literally just this. I'm gonna have like a million seedlings growing up in this corner. Man, this is one plant, guys, and it's huge. So yesterday, as a part of my cleanup effort, I was doing some weed whacking because I have some areas that are really bad with weeds, and I got a pretty bad fall. I literally thought I broke my finger. Well, first of all, I was worried that I broke my back, but then my back is fine, as you can see. But then I was sure that I broke my finger because, as you guys remember, Mr. Pinky broke my pinky during a hurricane. If you guys remember that video, I was trying to save Mr. Pinky from an upcoming hurricane, and he wasn't having it. Mr. Pinky was my rooster, and he literally broke my finger in the process of me trying to get him out, trying to save his life, and he broke my finger. So yesterday when I fell, it was literally the finger right beside the pinky that broke, and it felt the same way. It was swelling up, turned purple. But when I went, thank God, I went to the urgent care. Thank God it wasn't broken. It's probably just a bad sprain. So last night I iced it, wrapped it in comfrey, wrapped a comfrey leaf around it, like literally for all day. Then I slept with some of my comfrey salve on the finger, and thank God this morning I can use my finger. It's still sore, but not sore enough to stop me from doing what I need to do. So I'm being careful not to re-hurt it. Guys, we gotta give ourselves grace sometimes. Sometimes I feel like when I look at all that there is to do, sometimes I feel discouraged. But then I remember this garden is here to serve us and bring us joy, bring us peace, give us lots of food. We shouldn't make it get to the point where it becomes overwhelming and it stresses us out. However, I am the kind of person that when things look good, I think we all are like that. When things look good and are organized, it makes us feel better. Oh, man. I cannot believe, guys, that this is one plant. One tomato plant. My goodness. I used to let the chickens out on this side. This is the area that the chickens had totally eaten down flat. So this area is very rich. The chickens were out for probably a couple months, so pooping and eating. So this area is pretty rich. So I guess that's where the tomato seeds, the watermelon seeds, calalloo, all these seeds popped up because I feed my chickens everything. Everything except meat. I don't give them meat, but any veggies that I eat, any fruit I eat, they usually get a piece. All right, so let me keep going. Guys, look at the size of this callaloo. Look at the size of this trunk. Like, literally, this is like a tree trunk. Look at this. Look at my finger and look at the size of this trunk. I'm gonna pull it out so you can see. I don't think I can pull it out. I probably have to get my fork and pull it out. Guys, we have to remember, sometimes things get really overwhelming with how much there is to do in the garden. No matter how much I work at the garden, there's always stuff to do. But we have to remember that the garden is here to serve us and to feed us. The garden is a beautiful, wonderful place to just have peace. You're stressed out, things going on at work, you had a bad day at work, come out and walk through the garden. Come out and harvest some tomatoes, harvest a watermelon, harvest some callaloo, some chaya for dinner. Or just spend some time, quiet time praying. Quiet time seeking your maker. He always wants to hear from you. And I find that the garden is really a beautiful place to just spend that quiet time and seek him. So sometimes when I get overwhelmed and I look at all that there is to do, I just remember the real purpose of the garden. It's to feed my family. It's to help me find peace and help me find rest. It is not meant to stress me out. And if it's stressing me out, it's time to step back for a minute and remember why I first did this garden, to grow food for my family, to teach others to grow food, and to just enjoy the goodness of God and the nature of God. Oh, man. Guys, look at this callaloo. This is a serious tree. This is an actual tree. This is one callaloo, guys. One callaloo. Look at this. Look at this. That is a tree trunk. I don't think I've seen one that fat. And that has to be because of the chicken manure that's over here. So now my Indian jujube or my coolie plum is going to get a chance to breathe. I think I'm ready to take off most of the tomatoes throughout the garden. I noticed in my veggie bed, the tomatoes that I have in the veggie bed, I noticed that there were some seeds under there. Wow, this is in good. I noticed that there were seeds over there, so I think whatever animal is getting these was getting those also. Tomatoes falling everywhere. No more tomatoes for these rats or whatever they are. Guys, look at how much that is one plant, and there's still a lot of tomato vine all around here. Whew. The tomatoes and the callaloo over the fence, and the chickens absolutely love the callaloo. It also has some seeds on it, and the chickens love the seeds. So they're getting their folate, their iron, they're getting all their good minerals and vitamins from the callaloo. That's a wonderful thing about chickens. You don't have to worry about wasting anything. You can either compost it or give it to the chickens, and the chickens will turn it into delicious eggs and poop, which will in turn go back into the garden. All right, so let me just quickly weed whack and show you what we've got. All right, guys, so that's it. I ended up taking off the watermelon vine also. There are only 2 watermelon. What I'll do is I'll just let this sit on the vine. It's already fully developed. I find that whenever you just let it sit on the vine like this, it will eventually ripen up. Surprisingly, my chickens dug up all my previous watermelons, and they were all green and hard like this, and I just left them outside for a couple weeks and they all ripened, so I was able to eat watermelon. This smaller one may not be fully developed enough, so I'm probably just going to chop this into and feed it to the chickens. So now you can see my Indian jujube. This has a space to grow and blossom, and you know, I had I had a few blossoms on there earlier this year, but I think the tomatoes and everything just took it over. And plus the chickens were out, so the chickens may have eaten the blossom or the young fruit. I didn't get as many tomatoes as I wanted. I literally left hundreds and hundreds of tomatoes on the bushes. I decided I only touched the tomatoes where there was not even one that was touched on the bunch. These tomatoes grow in clusters, and several of the clusters had a bite, like one tomato with a bite. And it's just not worth taking a risk when you're dealing with rats or rodents, any kind of rodents. So that's what I have. And probably make some green salsa or just eat them just like that. But the green ones I probably make salsa. The ripe ones I put in my salads. So here's my grapevine, and I am so thrilled, guys. Look, I happened to find this grapevine must have touched the soil maybe last year. It might have touched soil because I didn't have it trellis last year. So it probably touched soil. And guys, look, I have a whole separate grapevine with a separate root. So I'm probably gonna pull that up and plant that along my new chicken run fence. And guys, this video is posting on Friday. I'm gonna show you how I built this chicken fence using scrap materials, scrap wire, and all I had to buy was fence pickets. And guys, I spent $50 for the entire thing, but I'll show you that on Friday. My guava tree, as you can see, guys, this is at the 3rd or 4th time fruiting for the year. This was covered with weeds underneath it and a ton of Virginia creeper, so I just weed whack underneath it too. And so that's it. That's the area over here. In order to build my fence, I remember all that trash and all those weeds and cranberry hibiscus that were like just wild and dried up. I removed all that on this side, but as you can see, I have multiple cranberry hibiscus coming up, so this is going to be huge with cranberry hibiscus in no time. But what I think I'll do now that this area is all cleaned up, I think I'm going to plant a passion fruit along here, and I'm also going to stick a couple Seminole pumpkins or Jamaican pumpkins, and so this area will be covered with pumpkin vines instead of weeds. All right, guys, so that's it. Another successful cleanup. It didn't take me that long, but guys, it looks so much better now. Anyway, hope you enjoy this video. Hope this encourage you to go on out there, do some cleaning up. I have a whole lot of videos coming that I just rolled up, plus coming up on how I am transforming my entire backyard. Anyway, guys, till next time, bye now.